My name is Joe, 37 years old, working a regular company job. Today is the 5th anniversary with my wife Michelle, who is the same age as me. It's also her birthday. Michelle is a beautiful saleswoman at a pretty famous company, and she's made outstanding achievements there. However, with that comes a lot of overtime and customer hospitality, which has led to many cases where we're unable to see each other. Even for our wedding ceremony, our schedules didn't match up because I work on the weekends. Michelle also had pretty strong preferences, and we ended up just having a simple wedding with our family members and a few friends in attendance. As such, for our anniversary and her birthday, I requested a half-day off so that I can get home early. I got the ribeye steak that she likes from a luxury butcher, picked up some wine and cake, and went back home. I set the dinner table with fancy tableware and waited for Michelle to come home. But despite me reminding her to come home early, she didn't show up. She sent me a message saying that there was an emergency task that she got assigned on her way out and that she would be spending the night at her workplace. I was a little disappointed, but it's her job, so I guess it can't be helped. She did tell me that she wasn't too busy with work, though. I pondered my doubts while cleaning up and then eventually headed to bed. The next morning, I got up and went to work as usual. The message I sent her was yet to be read. She didn't pick up any of my calls either. I got a bit worried and called her workplace. Much to my surprise, I was told that Michelle quit her job as of 2 days ago. Being notified that she apparently landed a job at a company in a neighboring country, I was astonished. I didn't hear a single word about any of that. I hurried home and saw her shoes in the entrance hall when I got there. When I burst into her room, she was packing all of her belongings into a suitcase. "Oh, what's going on?" My eyes widened, taken aback by what I was seeing. She responded, geez, well, looks like you caught me." She smacked her lips and then pulled out the divorce papers. "What's going on?" Hearing me frantically ask her the same question twice, Michelle looked at me with cold eyes and said, "Let's get divorced." Only that single sentence. "Why?" "I'm tired of you. You don't properly play your role as a husband. All you do is work and don't help out around the house. I don't want to be married to somebody like that." "Well, wait just a second. For the past 2 years or so, I'd make dinner and you would just say that you already ate. You never ate what I made." "Even if you do something like that, wouldn't a normal person be considerate of their wife working late hours and wait for her to eat together? I pretty much only started eating out because your cooking sucks." I got the chills from her cold tone, remembering how she told me that my cooking was the best when we first got married. I asked her if she recalled agreeing to me doing the laundry and cleaning on Wednesdays and Thursdays when we first got married. "You mean to say that you want me to sit in a dirty room from Friday to Tuesday and just wait for you to clean? You're joking, right?" She glared at me. "Hey, what's with you all of a sudden?" "I didn't think I would quit my job just 5 years after getting married, but I recently got scouted, so I thought it'd be the perfect chance to make my way out." "A perfect chance? You mean to get divorced?" Michelle has never said even a peep about being unhappy with jobs or chores, so of course there was also no case of her hinting at divorce at all. "See, you had no clue how unsatisfied I was. I have zero need for a husband like that. I got an apartment close to my new workplace, so I won't be coming back here." She said that, pushed me out of the way of the front door, took her suitcase, and left the house. She left me standing there, mystified and unable to comprehend what just happened. A week after that, I went to a high school class reunion. I wasn't in the mood, but I already paid money for it. Unable to get in contact with Michelle since that incident, I was spending my days distressed. I decided to see this as a chance to refresh myself. I went to the get-together and saw that there were single mothers and others who were divorced. They were all bravely continuing on with their lives. I did nothing but wish to fix things with Michelle, but thinking about it, I noticed that I would have to move with her to where her new workplace was if we were able to make amends. Even if it was a neighboring country, I wouldn't be able to stay at my current job if I had to make that commute every day. Plus, I've worked the same job for 17 years after getting my associate's degree and was receiving pretty decent pay. Getting that same pay wherever I moved next was also out of the question. Michelle was blowing me off completely, so I started to feel that I should just give up. What put the nail in that coffin was Michelle calling me and rushing me to move out of the apartment I was living in. The lease was under her name, and it was just about time for the lease and renewal date to come around. Apparently, the real estate agency contacted Michelle regarding that. "I told them that we would be out in a month, so make sure you get rid of everything before then." "I see you didn't even try to talk to me about this, despite the fact that I'm still living here." To this complaint, she said, "The lease is under my name. I'm not obligated to consult you about anything," pretty much picking a fight. I really felt that our situation was hopeless. "Gotcha. I'll get my stuff cleared out either this weekend or next weekend then." "Not just your belongings. Get rid of what I left in my room and the furniture as well." "Huh?" Now I was getting annoyed. "What are you saying? You've had this apartment since your bachelor days, and most of that furniture you had during that time is still in the house." "I'll take care of the furniture and appliances outside of that, but disposing everything else and paying for their disposal is on you." I said what I said and then hung up. What a petty woman. Her taking only her important personal belongings, leaving all of a sudden, and then trying to push the rest onto me only solidified my intent to divorce. When the weekend came, I was organizing my closet, reminiscing on all the things that happened between us getting married and now, thinking about how happy we were before. I found her high school senior album inside the closet. Now that I think of it, Michelle only introduced me to people she met since entering college. Thinking about that, I casually flipped through her yearbook. When doing this, I realized something very unexpected. I turned in the divorce papers and reported that to Michelle. And then on a night 4 months later, Michelle responded to my message with a picture. Lo and behold, it was a picture of the marriage papers for Michelle and another man. I was looking at the message dumbfounded, and then I got a call from Michelle. "Hey Michelle, what is this?" "Exactly what you see. I just got remarried with that man." "You're kidding, right?" "He's very handsome, rich, has a good personality. As soon as I got divorced from you, he told me that he wanted to get married. That photo is proof. Isn't that great?" "In other words, you were cheating while you were still married to me?" "Well, unlike you, whose only redeeming point is your job, I'm popular, so..." "Oh, also his father built us a house on his property and helped me get a job in my husband's hometown. It's a mid-sized company, but I'll be receiving the salary comparable to someone in an important role." She probably just called to brag about her cheating with a rich man and getting married to him. But a burning anger toward Michelle, who talked about all of this so nonchalantly, started to well up inside me. She said that she had a problem with me and made me divorce her, when in reality, she was the one who had a lover and ended up getting married to him. They had apparently been dating since over 2 years ago. Apparently, they met at a bar that Michelle went to with her colleagues. She spilled a drink on her clothes and was frantically trying to wipe herself down. Apparently, one of the 4 guys at a nearby table helped her out. "He's actually the same age as me and you, but he has a handsome face and looked younger. He immediately pulled out a handkerchief and helped me clean off my clothes." According to Michelle, she thanked him by inviting him to a restaurant where they talked about various things. The guy was a rich landowner and he had an arranged marriage, but he was skeptical about his wife cheating all the time. "Unlike you, he told me that he would fix anything that I see wrong with him. I was already falling for him." And after that, she came onto him aggressively and they entered a relationship without him divorcing his wife. I thought it wasn't hard to feel a bit of doubt about him two-timing with Michelle while also trying to give his all to his wife. But Michelle, blindly in love, couldn't make this realization. "In the end, it has to be a man who takes care of his woman. Someone like you who brushes off his wife for his job just isn't right for me." "What? You want me to take care of you? You can't take care of yourself?" I yelled that without thinking about it, which really got to Michelle. I'm so glad that I cut ties with a man like you. There's no one better than Tristan after all." "Tristan, is that your man's name?" "Yes, Tristan Mayfield. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?" Listening to Michelle rambling in excitement all on her own, I recalled hearing that peculiar name somewhere. "You're really marrying that kind of man? You're kidding, right?" I said it in that tone purposely, which visibly hurt Michelle's pride a bit. "He's the best husband, from his family background to his personality. Just look at how handsome he is." Then she sent me a picture of their wedding. As I anticipated, it was the man I thought it was. There was no mistake. I burst into laughter. "What's so funny? This is really proof that we got married." "Right, you're right." It was so funny to me that I couldn't say anything else besides that. "Hey, stop laughing at me. We're really married, and I'm pregnant with his baby." "Really?" I couldn't keep myself from laughing. "I see now. You must have a screw or two loose in your head after losing me, huh?" Then Michelle, interpreting my laughter in whatever way sounded right to her, said, "I'm having a baby boy 3 months from now. Of course it's going to be just as handsome as Tristan is." She was getting excited all by herself again. "It'd still be handsome if it looked like you and not him." Michelle had a face just as beautiful as any idol. After hearing what I said, she responded in panic. "No, it doesn't need to look like me." I heard that and burst into laughter yet again. And Michelle said, "Go ahead and laugh it up all you want." And then she hung up. I think she'll eventually get why I was laughing at her. I was looking forward to when that time came. After that, we had little fights over things like compensation money and splitting of assets. But through mediation by my lawyer, I was able to get something just short of $100,000 from her. Michelle also agreed to pay Tristan's part as well, as to not cause him any psychological stress. We stayed out of contact for quite some time, but then I got a message from her 2 years afterwards. "Help me, Joe, please hear me out." I had no choice but to answer the immediate call that came after the message. And just as I expected, it was about the child born between her and Tristan. "Don't you think the child looks like one of his parents?" "Obviously, who else could it look like?" "Right?" It seemed like the baby boy was not blessed with a handsome face like Tristan. I told her, "He's still only 2, right? He'll gradually change over time." But she didn't seem to want to accept that without actually seeing it for herself. "Well, that's just how things go." Holding in my laughter, I asked, "It doesn't look like you, Michelle?" "No, but I'm completely fine with it not looking like me," she replied in a loud, flustered tone. 2 years ago, you couldn't stop laughing at me when I told you that me and Tristan were having a baby, right? You know something, don't you?" "I'm amazed you remembered that." "If you say so. Tristan was actually from the same high school as me and also in my grade. We never had any classes together, so I didn't know him at all. But he had a reputation for being a right-handed brat who was the son of a rich landowner. His name was brought up at a high school reunion 2 years ago, and he was quite the topic of discussion. It was because he got cosmetic surgery. Tristan had single eyelids, small eyes, a cauliflower nose, and an underbite, if I recall correctly. After high school, he apparently went all the way to Tokyo to get his face redone at a famous cosmetic surgery clinic. He didn't come to any of the class reunions, so I never got to see what his face looked like. But my friend sent me a post-surgery picture a few days after that reunion. Japan's cosmetic surgery technology really is amazing." Naturally, Michelle didn't believe me when I first told her about it, but she was in shock after realizing that Tristan never showed her his childhood pictures, yearbooks, or anything like that. Did I really get fooled by him? Damn. When we were dating, he put on a nice guy act, but in reality, him and his wife divorced because he was the one cheating on his wife on multiple occasions. He's been invoiced for compensation payments from so many people. It's so painful. I'm going to get down to the bottom of this. I don't think you should do that. What? Why? You said the baby doesn't look like you either, right? But usually boys look like their mom. When I said that, she was at a loss for words. You got cosmetic surgery too, so there's no way he would look like you, right? Why do you know that? 2 years ago, I found your senior yearbook when I was cleaning up the apartment we were living in together. I was shocked when I saw that you looked like a completely different person back then. Looking at that album, I realized the reason why she didn't introduce me to anyone she knew before college, and why she insisted on having a small wedding, only inviting her colleagues from work. Michelle probably got surgery in college and didn't want to be embarrassed. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with cosmetic surgery, but a child will end up looking like whatever the parents looked like before. So you gotta think about that as well. What should I do? What should you do? How about being the child's mother? It's your child without a doubt. I said that, hung up the phone, and then blocked her email address and phone number. You really have to be a cruel person if you're getting upset over your child not looking the way you wanted it to. And then a year later, a friend who had a child that was the same age as Tristan's child showed me a picture from their preschool entrance ceremony. He was adorable. It just didn't look like the current Tristan or Michelle. But according to Tristan's friend, Tristan was hoping that the child would end up looking like the post-surgery Michelle. Both wife and man were the same kind of person. Plus, Michelle apparently cheated again, and Tristan was asking that friend for advice on divorcing. Michelle is an idiot. If she got divorced from Tristan, she would have to pay compensation money as well as child support. Plus, Tristan is the son of a rich family, so if he hired a competent lawyer, who knows how much they would squeeze out of her. Moreover, that friend who is now buddy-buddy with Tristan since they're both dads, said that Tristan's surgery is even known by the kids in the area, so the son is being isolated at school and told that his dad is actually ugly. Tristan's parents doting on the child is the silver lining in all of this, but I do feel bad for the kid. I guess it's none of my business, though. I, on the other hand, was able to find an apartment in a location convenient for commuting. Being closer to work, I've been able to do laundry and clean after coming home from work, and I can use all of my days off for myself. I've developed deeper bonds with the other divorced classmates at my class reunions. I'm kicking my feet up and living a relaxed lifestyle.